Yes, it's me, Mike Stone, and this is the Backseat Driver Podcast. This episode is brought to you by Gas Shocks, home of the 116 Trophy and 120 Coupe Cup. Hoddy Tyres, find the best tyres for your vehicle, supplying all the top brands to keep you covered in every season and every condition. Tarox Brakes, the art of slowing down, precision engineered in Italy for ultimate performance, and Specialised Automotive Services, specialists in high-quality automotive maintenance and classic car restoration. You can find the details of all our proud sponsors for this episode in the show notes. I'd like to introduce to the Backseat Driver a man after my own heart. He's seriously into Fiat Pandas. To a degree, he rallies them. He does some serious rallying with them. So we'll find out why and we'll find out what. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Simon Nutter to the Backseat Driver. Simon, welcome.
Thank you very much. How do you? Hello, everybody.
How did all this come about and why pandas? I mean, I know why. I owned a Panda 4 before. I've owned a few and I love them to bits.
Yeah. Do you want another one? Right, so basically, how do we end up with pandas? We've always done sort of obscure events, as well as the rallying. We've also done obscure things.
Yeah.
Howard Patterson, who you know, who used to have Rally Drive, he's a bugger for inviting us over for Christmas. We have a few drinks, and then he comes out and finds some sort of obscure, why don't we do this? And it started off ages ago with, I found the London to Delhi rally. So we ended up building a Skoda Fabius for that, and then halfway through, they cancelled the rally because of Pakistan and India falling out. Still going on now. And then we found another event in Peru and went and did that in the Skodas.
Yeah.
So that, we've always had a bit of a leaning to doing the obscure. And then this
I suppose the one thing about the obscure is that the events nobody knows about, they're probably more interesting than your standard rally.
And you made one, and to a certain extent, you made more welcome because they're not expecting you to turn up.
No.
So, 3 years ago, I'm not sure how we found this one. I think it was Howard again, or maybe Sean Kakula, but one of them came up with this Panda raid thing in Morocco.
Yeah.
So Howard, it must have been Howard because he'd already got a Panda. Then he bought another one locally that he was going to use for spares and found it was better than the original one, so he ended up building another one. So he had two, and a friend of ours from Dubai came out and he did that event with him. Sean cheated. He bought one in France and he drove down there on the trailer, car and trailer, and picked it up. Fee and I flew to Spain, bought one, then drove it home. Yeah. So it was always a bit of an adventure right from the start. Anyway, we did it 3 years ago with our partners the female partners. I think there wasn't a day went by where one of them wasn't in tears over something, because it was quite strenuous, and being two-wheel drive our cars, we did suffer a little bit with getting through stuff and things like that.
So what Marcus Pomfret was saying, their preparation was a set of van tyres and it didn't seem to hold them back.
Well, I think that was Howard's input. He said always van tyres. We use van tyres with the Marbella, and they're fine. We did it the year before they came out, so I think he got that advice from Howard originally. So it's so we went out there, and it was the first time English ones had turned up, so everything was in Spanish when we got there, which was really lucky because none of us spoke Spanish or read Spanish, understood Spanish. So that was the first little hiccup, which the organisers, to be fair, translated it overnight when we got there, and they also organised an interpreter. Because every morning they do a little bit of a briefing as to what's going on and times and all this sort of stuff. And we had an interpreter. Unfortunately, and we did it on this year's event, they had a translator, and things tend to get lost in translation. They say it's only once. And it's not necessarily going to be all the right correct things. So
it's all the right words, but not necessarily the right order.
Correct. And it was there was a little bit of character building, but at the end of the day, we're not there to win the event. We're there to enjoy it and experience it, and to see places that you wouldn't normally see. You might now and again we'd see tourists and things like that in some places, but it would be a rarity to see a coach load of Americans.
Yeah.
Usually in a hotel we were staying in, they were all in there going, "What the hell are you all doing here?" Because there was 100 pandas outside, so it was quite. We did make a presence felt.
Bit eye-catching.
Yeah, and they're brilliant. They are brilliant. So, we came away the first time saying we'll never do this again.
Yeah.
And then Marcus did come and look, and Marcus and Anthony did come and have a look at mine, but I was asking too much money apparently.
Yeah.
So they went down the Vicar route. And then Peter bought mine from Alston, and he went out there, and I lent him a few bits. So I was a bit concerned, as you do when you sell a car to somebody, that everything goes right. And he came back, and he'd had 2 punctures on van tyres. But having said that, he did say he'd hit a rock quite hard, quite quickly. But he just said it was one of the best things he's ever done in his life. So that was a reassurance to me that, yes, he bought it my car and he'd had a good time with it.
Yeah.
So that was great. I enjoyed that.
I mean, what do you do to prepare your pandas?
Well,
because I get the feeling you're not allowed to do a lot to them. No, or are they different categories where it's more or less...
Yeah, there's different categories.
Showroom and the other one's WIC.
They've got... I think they've about 4 different categories, and we originally went to have I can't think what they call it, like the tourist category.
Yeah.
Thinking that was going to be like the one that we all go to scenic spots and casually stop for a beer. Yeah. It turned out when we got there, when we started looking, I think we had the same route, but 15 minutes longer to do it in. So it didn't really make a huge, when you're out there from 7 a.m. till, the guys at the top end are finishing at 4.
Yeah.
So they're at the hotel, having a beer, working on the cars, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We were turning in at 8, 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
We were trying to find bivouacs in the dark.
Yeah.
That hadn't been there in the afternoon, in the desert. Yeah. So that was quite interesting.
Yeah.
So it was an adventure. So, but the preparation of the cars is as far as you want to go. I mean, the Marbella, I stripped it near enough down to a shell and rebuilt it.
Yeah. Just very quickly, is there any difference between a Seat Marbella and a Fiat Panda?
No.
Right.
No, it's basically...
Apart from the badge on the front.
It's the Spanish version of a Panda.
Yeah.
So it's the same, basically, except it's left-hand drive.
Yeah.
And that was it, from my point of view.
Yeah.
And the one I bought had done the actual Panda Raid, which is the harder one of the events, twice, and had no problems with it.
Yeah.
So they're tough little nuts. They're not the quickest thing in the world. I noticed somebody was using a Panda at Clacton... at the rally this weekend over at the Cadwell.
Yeah.
Not the quickest thing in the world, so what you were saying is something different, so I thought, fair play.
I mean, fair enough. Mine's a bit newer than yours. Mine's the Cross 4x4, it's the posh one. But even if you knock it out of economy mode, it's still only 90 euros. But having said that, 85, 90 euros out of a 2-cylinder engine in my case, you can fairly bob along.
You can bob along, and it's all the gearing. I mean, the actual event isn't about speed.
No.
60 mile. I think there is a limit at 60 miles an hour when you're on the actual out in the desert.
Yeah.
And if you go over that with a tracker, you get penalised, as Anthony and Marcus realised when they kept having something binging. They wondered what it meant, and they were getting penalised every time he did it. So, and Anthony, being Anthony, was pressing on a bit. You know, there are bits of it that you could go a lot faster, but you're not allowed to.
Yeah.
It's somebody's backyard at the end of the day, even though it looks like a desert.
Yeah. I was going to say, is it pure... Are there tracks or is it pure sound? I mean, does it share anything in common with the Dakar that was?
I think we're supposed to keep to tracks.
Yeah.
What they do, they basically... I'm not the technical side of it. Marcus and Anthony have a better idea on this. But basically get a load of GPS points.
Yeah.
And they have various difficulties to get to and have various points. The harder ones get more points and the easier ones get less points. But basically you make your own route up and you set up at a time and you get them the time to be at the finish. So if you do all the points and you arrive a minute late at the final checkpoint, none of it is wiped.
All right.
So you've got to get to the finish. So basically, it's a bit like a road rally.
If you decide to miss out a checkpoint?
It's fine. You're only getting so many points, and then you cut to the finish.
Yeah.
So it's a bit like a road rally where we used to end up, getting close to OTL. You cut a couple of controls out.
Yeah.
Just the same thing. You get penalised. Well, you'll get penalised on a road rally, but on the Panda thing, it's just how many points you collect that day,
Right.
and as long as you get to the finishing
Short
time.
time.
That was one of the interpretations that we got slightly wrong, in the fact that Sean and I went on a big long excursion over sand dunes,
Yeah.
and then down a very rough road that we kept hoping would come out, and we got an hour into it,
Yeah.
and it came to an end.
Right.
And we had to turn around and go back all the way.
Yeah.
Then we had to cut to the finish. Got to the finish, it had to be at 5 o'clock. Got there about 5 to 5, came slamming through it like we were finishing a stage.
Yeah.
And then it was only when we got back to the hotel that the interpretation was that we had another hour. It was 6 o'clock we had to be finished, not 5 o'clock. So we could have done a lot more of the controls if we'd known that.
Yeah.
So there's bits like that, but it's not going to change our lives where we finished.
No.
You know, there's nobody ringing me up saying, "Oh, you know, we'd like to sponsor your Panda, please," because we've noticed how rubbish you are, but you're entertaining, so
Yeah.
we're going to have you coming with us.
Because it's all done. Your co-driver does it with an iPad or similar, don't they?
huge problems with the. Because basically, I mean, I make a joke of, you know, I've got a map out and it's a piece of sandpaper.
Yeah.
But you know, for him, he was saying that he had like 2 points. He had where he was,
Yeah.
and the where he was trying to reach.
Yeah.
And they had nothing on the screen other than like little bits of lines.
Yeah.
So we were doing it almost like we were at sea, like plot and back. We had people, other pandas, the locals, the Spanish guys. They were going down tracks to our right or to our left.
Yeah.
And we were just straight line into the over everything.
Yeah.
To
Where
get to
you
the,
reach there. It's
that's
the
the
shortest
GPS.
route is
Exactly. It was a
line.
straight route. I mean, there was a couple of times that we struggled over a climb down it, and then you could see a couple of pandas ahead. And you think, right, it's going to go.
Yeah.
And we chased them. We got to the end, and they just stopped because there was a 100-foot ravine.
Yeah.
And they couldn't. So we were all turning round. You know, and it's a bit Keystone Cop maybe. But,
Yeah.
But it's. Yeah, I can imagine if you've done it 2 or 3 times, you get very competitive,
Yeah.
and very serious about it. But for us, doing it every now and again, we're there to enjoy our, you know, it's a good fun, you know. And the other thing was, where on the first one we were coming in at 8-9 o'clock at night and being over the time.
Yeah.
We were turning up at 4 o'clock and having a few drinks.
Yeah.
And then there's the local garages there that they set up with easy ups, and they can fix the cars if they need them.
Yeah.
I snapped a rear shocker bolt. I did a wishbone on the front, and that was about it.
Yeah.
Which, to say what we were driving over, was like moonscape on times. But you're going slowly. You know, you're not flying along.
Yeah.
You know, there's bits where you can press on and bits where you have to go, whoa, hang on.
Yeah.
And slow right down. 2 mile an hour. Which is quite funny when you've got 3 pandas all doing 2 mile an hour racing each other. And you're like, well, I'll go to 2.2 mile an hour and I'll get ahead of these lot.
Yeah.
And then as soon as it went smooth, you put your foot down and they can't see sod all for the dust. So they have to back off. You know, it's all gamership. It's
Yeah.
Terry Thomas. It's
I
brilliant.
mean, if you think about it, the original Panda was designed or was launched in 1980, and it was nothing more than Fiat's little town car, a city car.
yeah.
It was
Crazy.
never ever meant for anything like
No,
this. And
no.
as we all know, the four-wheel drive came into being because Mr. Agnelli used to turn up in the mountains to go skiing and shooting, and his mates took the mick that he come in a Land Rover. So he had a word with Fiat and said, he's the company he owned, is there any chance of turning one of these four before? And they did.
Yeah.
From there, I mean, they've never really stopped making them. They've
No.
just changed the looks of them and bits and pieces.
Yeah. No,
But-
they're just brilliant. They're such a brilliant little car.
Yeah.
And they're reliable. They're like a sewing machine engine in the old ones.
Yeah.
They're all getting a bit technical now.
I mean, you'll be a four. Are you a four-cylinder?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Are you 1300 or what?
1200.
1200.
It's. I think mine's got 67 brake horsepower.
All right.
Not 68, not
Yeah.
65, 67. Yeah. I feel it. When you put your foot there, you can, there's 67.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what's happened is that because the old ones are getting rare and getting crazy prices now.
Oh, yeah.
This
Well,
year,
an original 4x4 is now worth. Somebody I know bought one, and by the time he'd had it restored, he uses it round Gstaad and places like that. This thing weighs in at 19,000 quid.
Bloody
But
hell.
apparently, if you have a Series 1 Panda, especially a 4x4 that's in good nick,
Yeah.
you're like quids in it, and it's a serious
man.
status symbol.
Yeah. So, I mean, that because of that, this year they introduced the 169, which is like basically saying the Mark II Escort, the Mark 1 Panda and the Mark II Panda. Slight issue we had with that was that when we turned up, there was two locals there with 319s, which are the Cross, which has got the electrical diff in them and this, that and the other. And
because the modern one doesn't use the old one with the Steyr puck system that you pull the little handle.
Yeah, that's
now
right.
All electronic.
It's basically a viscous coupling.
Yeah.
Which I mean, we've got stuck twice, and that's it. And once one of those, we managed to drive it out.
Yeah.
Which was, I'm not sure who was more amazed, me or Sean, when we managed to drive the damn thing out again. He wasn't surprised I got it stuck. I mean, he was just surprised I managed to get it back out.
Yeah.
So I mean, we were just that little bit. That's maybe a step ahead. But anyway, again, we're there to have a good time. I'm not going to start. We had words with the organiser and said, "Well, do you want to make a protest?" And we went, "No, we don't want to make a protest. They're Spanish, and we were chilled." So we ended up being third in our category, and we could have maybe made second if we hadn't have had that excursion that we went out. But ifs and buts and wherefores. And again, whether we would won it second, third, or 10th. It wouldn't change my way whether I'd enjoyed it or not. It's I'm too long in the tooth for that lark. As long as the car's in one piece, which it is.
Well, it's like when I do the navigation stuff. There's all the code boards, and I always say to the co-driver, we didn't miss all of them. The last one we did, we missed one.
Yeah.
And you think, well,
that's not bad, is it?
It's not bad going, isn't that? There were like 18 or 19 of them. We only missed one.
Yeah.
It's if you get none of them, you think this wasn't very successful.
Yeah. Are we on the right map? It did start in Padiham, didn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. It was coming over here. I remembered once years and years ago when before I started rallying, I was watching rallies. And we were trying to find the start, and we found there was an escort went past. We went, oh! So we followed him all the way home.
Yeah.
And when he pulled up outside his house, and we pulled outside, he jumped out laughing, and he said, "You thought I was going to the start, didn't you?" He said, "I'm going, Marshall. I'm having an hour's kit before I go." So he then did actually show us tell us where the stairs.
What's that famous instruction? Never follow the car in front.
Well, that was one of the first things ever on my first road rally ever. And Mark Halstead and I, and we came down to a T-junction, and we'd caught this imp in front of us.
Yeah.
We'd had an argument at the start because they put helmets on, and I had a big argument with them saying, "Are we supposed to have helmets?"
Yeah.
And this was a road rally, and we had a discussion all the way up to the start, and then we set off, and I caught him on a T-junction. He went right, and Mark's screaming, "We go left, go left."
Yeah.
And we went left, and it was correct. It wasn't right. It was correct. You have to be careful how I say that because it would have been wrong.
I won't say who or what, but there is, even on the navigation rallies, he appears on all of them with his son. It's a fully prepared rally car, and after about 10 minutes, he's generally right up my backside. So I'll let him round. And after about another 15-20 minutes, he'll be right up my backside again.
Where have you been?
And he keeps doing it. And the last one we did, he came screaming past me, turned left at a T, and went straight on. And the actual route was turn left at that T and then take your first right.
Yeah.
So this guy does it all the time.
Gosh.
I'm quite used to seeing this rally car in my rear view mirror, and you think, well, go on, carry on, pal, because I'll still finish before you.
His son's navigating, so I suppose he's making memories.
The son is old enough to know better. He's also been doing it long enough to know better.
All right. But having said that, they're seeing places you've never been to. Yeah. And he's still there at the finish with you. Did you see that viaduct? What viaduct? Yeah. So
you were talking about the categories. What are the different categories in rallying Pandas?
In the Pandas, they've got the base. I can't think of the terminology. You've got the wrong person for that sort of stuff. But basically, you've got the 4x4. I like to call them extreme 4x4.
Yeah.
So you've got the 4x4 that again there'll be 20 grand's worth of car in them. They are the.
So they have the suspension list.
They've got
the big
suspension. You're allowed an engine, Fiat engine.
Yeah.
Up to 1400. Right. So they put Punto engines in them.
Right.
So you've got those, which is the Mark, the old square shaped ones. Then you've got
do they also do the seats and the roll cage and all the rest?
The whole 9 yards.
Right.
Whole 9 yards. We were looking around, admiring some in the car park of the hotel and talking to the guys. One they'd only built. I think they built it in 4 weeks or 5 weeks. A copy of the original one.
Yeah.
And it's got NASCAR belts in it. It had bucket seats or something else. Very clever. Really well sorted.
Yeah.
They had a built-in compressor there, so they could lower the tyre pressures.
Yeah.
Remotely and then push them back up again. So that's Dakar technology.
Yeah.
But they were saying that they'd made it themselves.
Yeah.
And it was a bit farmyardy type thing, but it
Yeah.
works. And I think they said it cost them €300 the whole system.
Yeah.
And a bit of knowledge. Things like that. They've got they've got the suspension on them. They're well sorted cars.
Yeah.
Well sorted cars. But then they were saying that the most important part of the car, they had the biggest bloody cooler box in the back full of beer. So even these guys that are doing it seriously,
Yeah.
have still got that side that they're having a good time.
Having a good time.
Yeah. So you've got those sort. Then you've got the same thing but in 2-wheel drive.
Yeah.
So you've got like proper WRC type spec, everything done
Yeah.
with 2-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Then you've got the what do they call it? I can't think what they call it, but it's a bit of a joke because it's like the tourist section.
Yeah.
And basically you can do anything in that. But you could have one of those top boy
Yeah.
cars if you've got the money, but you're in the tourist class.
Yeah.
So there's that class as well. And then, as I say, they've added the 169 one, which is again separate again.
Yeah.
So some of the GPS points are common to everybody.
Yeah.
Some are just for the extreme 4x4s. Some are extreme. Some are for the 4x2s.
Yeah.
But the 4x4s can use them as well.
Yeah.
So the 4x4 can do any of the route.
Yeah.
The 2-wheel drive can do most of the route, apart from a few that they aren't allowed to go to by other than 4x4.
Yeah.
Then you've got the touristy bit that everybody can do as well as a tourist.
Yeah.
And then you've got the 169s. I'm not sure what we had different points again that we were going to, but it's they have one day where we have like a mad start where they have like 30 cars
all in a row,
all right across the desert,
Yeah.
and they set them all off together. It's like a camel race going across, and that's good fun.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's fun, and all the marshals, all the organisers, the hotels and everything are so enthusiastic and can't do enough for you. They really can't do enough for you.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, they're like, we want you to come back next year. Is there anything you can suggest to improve things? Maybe I have sent one saying maybe a fact sheet when they're doing the briefing in the morning.
Yeah.
They could actually have just like bullet points.
Yeah.
Like what bloody time we finish.
Yeah. I was
Would
going to
be
say,
a good
how
point.
far are you travelling each day, roughly?
I don't really know, about 300 kilometres, a couple of 100 miles.
Yeah.
We set off at like 7 in the morning, finish at 4.
Technically, it's not a long way.
No, but the roads aren't. The roads are extreme roads.
Yeah.
You're not driving on tarmac.
No.
You might drive across a tarmac road, but majority of it is. There's some of it is goat tracks.
Yeah.
I mean, there was one part that I didn't recognise it until after the event that somebody pointed it out. That's this SAS Rogue Heroes.
Oh yeah.
Where they have their camp.
Yeah.
We went through that and
Right.
up onto the top, and it's just brilliant.
Yeah.
You're like, bloody hell.
Who needs the SAS? All the thing you need is a Fiat Panda.
Well, yeah. You could. He's just fitting the Bren gun on the top would be the problem, wouldn't it? He'd probably just rip the roof out if you started bolting it there. But like another guy that we know, Ollie, he built one from a shell. Literally bought a shell that Howard had found.
Yeah.
Into a fantastic car.
Yeah.
He's a very clever lad.
Yeah.
Pro speed, they do roof racks and all sorts, and do stuff for the military and all this. And he did this because he used to go on holiday with his mum and dad, and he used to hire a Panda.
Yeah.
And he had happy memories of Pandas, so he's just like, I'm going to do it.
I think that's how a lot of other people remember Pandas. It was the car they hired abroad.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't explain puntos, does it? Nobody likes them. So I ended up with 2 because I bought one to use, and again, bloody Howard here springs up.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a rally, the Himalayan rally.
Yeah.
So that was in October. Why don't we go and do that? So he bought an XGS,
Yeah.
as you do from Atherton's. Then Sean bought an SLK because he's told us it was an all-tarmac event now.
Yeah.
He did the Himalayan in the 80s and it was all rough roads.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's all tarmac now, smooth.
Yeah.
Well, I had a Panda 4 before that. I'd gotten ready for the Moroccan event.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, it can go there and come back.
Yeah.
Just the job. So we went over there. Well, they'd had all sorts of landslides and stuff. So we were driving up muddy roads and all this. And everybody turned around and said, "You've got the best car here." I mean, there was me and Simon with an Impreza. And, between us, we were the ones that were like having a good time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it took 4 months for the car to get back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, 4 months to get there. And I thought, this could get a long time getting back here.
Yeah.
So I bought and ended up buying another one.
Yeah.
And prepared that for the event. And the other one came back from India on the Monday as we flew out on Tuesday.
Right.
So it was a good job I bought another one. So I've now got 2 in the garden.
Yeah.
2.
In the garden?
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, my garage is full of my son's stuff.
Yeah.
You know, he's just done Cadwell, so his Escort's in my garage at the moment.
So 2 global rally cars, Fiat Pandas, have to sit in garden, do you?
In the garden, yeah. And the grandchildren love playing in them.
Yeah.
They love playing, so one sits in one and one sits in the
Oh,
other,
yeah.
pipping the horns. The neighbours love us, absolutely. They wave and smile when we leave. No, it's good. It's good, But like I said, I'm torn really what to do because I need to sell one.
Yeah.
But whether I sell a second one and go, I was trying to explain to the Moroccan mechanic that these 2 cars that were next door to me, they were cheating bastards.
Yeah.
And he didn't. I couldn't understand. So I actually looked it up. So I then explained to him that they were infidels,
Yeah.
which he thought was the most funniest thing in the world. Because I was showing them, this is the. But they were having problems as well. They sheared the shockers bolts on the back. And it's just as simple. Now I know it's the simplest thing in the world. We're just going to make an extra bracket because it's just one bolt through the shocker into the bodywork, and there's no support on the outer edge of the shocker bolt mount. So just like a bit of steel bent 2 ways like a Z and welded on, and that will be it.
Yeah.
That's all it needs.
So you've never thought of seam welding your Pandas or anything like that?
Oh God, no. No, they don't. No. Well, the only bit of welding is if they're a bit rotten when you buy them.
Yeah.
We did do a little bit. Yeah, because I did because we were going off to India and I bought the second one. I took it for MOT and it needed the rear trailing arms changing.
Yeah.
And he said there's a bit of rot here as well. And the local welding guy that we use, he said, well, it's going to be like 500 quid to do the welding and a couple of £100 for the arms. So I said, all right, okay then. So anyway, I got back and I sent him a message saying, is it ready? And he said, yes. And I said, and I'd given him 500 quid deposit.
Yeah.
And he goes, I said, so how much do I owe? He said, well, 700 quid.
Yeah.
I said, so 200 quid because I paid you 5. No, 700 quid on top of that 500 quid. So that was a bit of a shock.
You're not getting to put his name outside of it, knock a bit off.
No.
Sponsorship.
I nearly put his face down the side of it, but that was a different thing. Apparently, Eastern Europeans, when they say it'll be a price, doesn't mean that's anywhere near the price it's going to be. That's just like something to say.
Yeah.
500 quid. I think 500 quid is like a rudimentary, 500 quid or £1,000.
Yeah.
It could be either.
Yeah.
So, anyway. But, yeah, so it wasn't quite the cheapest Panda in the end. So, anyway. But everything was good on it. Again, no regrets. No regrets. It's got 2 new arms on it. It's got rear suspension, got knobblies on it.
Yeah.
Everything is ready to go. To be honest, if I put something on those shock absorbers, it's ready to go again.
Yeah.
So, it's there.
Can you upgrade them to like Cornish or Bilsteins, or is it on its standard shockers?
No, it is. I think these are from that Auto Doc. And these are Punto shockers, so they're slightly longer. Punto front and Punto back. But we are talking about maybe putting Bilsteins on the back of them. Well, we were talking about that at the hotel after a couple of beers.
Maybe if you did that, you could probably double the value of it.
Well, yeah. And we put handles on the back in case we need to push, and we didn't.
Yeah.
We were the heroes actually because there was a couple of lads stuck, and we sort of went past them, got onto the hard, and I think they were there. They had a tow rope on the front of theirs waiting for me to pull it, and I went past them and then stopped, then backed up onto the dune, so that was at an angle, and I jumped out with my tow rope and I gave him a tow rope which he adjusted to, and he was like, broken Spanish. Well, sign language. You're saying you're not bloody close enough. And I went, hang on a minute, and I got my other tow rope out and put that one on as well. So we were like 100 foot away from him.
Yeah.
Well, no, 60 foot away
Otherwise,
from him.
you'd be stuck.
I'd have been stuck in the same, yeah. And so I gave it a tug, and off and he thought that was the best thing ever. Why have one? Why you wouldn't have? It's like silly little things of thinking ahead. Is having 2 tow ropes. Having I had a spade, and I had 4 sand ladders, not 2.
Yeah.
And I got a hoe.
Yeah.
Oh. But a hoe, and we got stuck the second time, and we were beached.
Yeah.
So we got a hoe, got underneath, and I could pull it from underneath, all the way out. With a spade, you'd be down on your hands and knees. With this, I could actually just pull it out.
Yeah.
And we got going again in 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So we were both breathing heavy.
Yeah.
And there's a local guy pushing, he was breathing heavy as well.
Yeah.
And then he tried to sell us a fossil, so I think I'm pretty sure that Sean gave him some money for helping, and he was most put out that we didn't want a fossil.
Yeah.
But we gave him the money, he thought we were buying it,
Yeah.
thought we were bartering him down, and he was thinking, bloody hell, that's a bit cheap for me fossil.
Yeah.
We didn't want the fossils, we were just giving him a drink. So, again, anybody thinking about it, it's good fun.
Yeah.
You've got to approach it as good fun. And you get setbacks and you get knocks and this and that. But every day you have tales to tell over a drink at the hotel.
If somebody wants one, where's the best place to find a suitable Panda?
Well, I've got 2 for sale.
Yeah.
Just told you. Just near Kendal. The off-road guys. These ones that do the green laning.
Yeah.
Ideals. But again, the problem you've got is you can buy... Well, it's like anything in the world. If you buy one that's already prepared, you're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
If you want to do it yourself, I would recommend having a go at yourself, because at the end of the day, it then gives you the knowledge to have a go at it if you need to on the actual
learn
events.
about the car, I
Yeah,
suppose.
learn the car.
I mean, how complicated is a Panda?
Oh, well, you sing a sewing machine. You've got, it's the age of the cars now that you can still work on them.
Yeah.
I think if you maybe go to something like yourself, it's now edging towards being electrical.
Yes.
I remember a good friend of mine, navigator, and he was getting out mechanic, and he said, I'm a fitter now. He said, the computer tells me what to put on, and we replace things. He said, you don't fix things like you used to do.
I mean, if you open the bonnet on mine, there's this big plastic cover there you have to remove to then start getting at things.
No.
And mine now runs on ceramic spark plugs at 40 quid a piece.
Oh, no.
Where if you put the normal spark plugs in, that believe it or not, Fiat tell you, you'll be all right for about 3 months, and then they'll oil up and it'll keep conking out. So you have to then go and get another set of ceramic plugs. And
you'll learn from it.
Yeah.
Move on without bitterness. Don't look back in anger. I mean, they are workable. They are workable. And the great thing is that because these lot have been doing the Panda event there for quite a few years, the local mechanics
now know Fiat Pandas.
They know Pandas, and they're very good. I mean, we went on to steel wheels because Howard, everybody was on alloys. Howard was saying, well, if you've got some steel wheels, if you bend one, you can fix it.
You can hammer it back into shape.
Well, I've got photographs of a local tyre shop.
Yeah.
And I went in there and said, in whatever, sign language. Sign language was, can you fix this? And it was like me saying, can you suck a humbug? Do you think your man should be able to do this?
Yeah.
Because he just like looked at me, and he went and got like a huge piece of steel and a lump hammer, put his feet round it, and had it straight in about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Then fixed the puncture, and it was like, and I think it was like £8.
Yeah.
And you think, bloody hell, if I'd been in England doing that,
they'd
have said, let's scrap that.
Yeah.
And and I did it twice, 2 different steel wheels. So, but that was because we dropped the pressures down.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. And again, another life lesson. We dropped the pressures down. We should have just said, right, we're going back onto the fast stuff. Stop. Pump them back up.
Yeah.
And we didn't. We just thought, it'll be all right, be all right, be all right. Next thing we have a puncture.
Yeah.
And lose 10 minutes instead of pumping them up, taking 2 minutes. So, or we should have had a farmer's thing where we press a button and it pumps them all up. But then or a big oil cooler, a big cooler full of beers.
Yeah. I mean, when you started rallying and motorsport, did you ever envisage you'd be flying around the desert in a Fiat Panda?
Not really, no. It was always about watching motoring news rallies and, Cyril Bolton and Bernie Griffin and all the top boys, we were watching them up on Tan Hill and stuff like that. Happy memories.
Yeah.
And then I bought Clive Olker's twin cam from him. Originally, I was buying my brother's BDA Sprite.
Yeah.
But he made a right mess of that on Mull.
Yeah.
Just the last rally he was going to use it for. So I ended up buying Clive's, which was, I think it had been in the top 10 of the International Manx Rally 2 months before I bought it. And it put it on its roof, because I went to Orty and Lee's Vauxhall thing. They had a Vauxhall night, and I'd just bought the car, and they were like showing rally films, and it showed him rolling it like in the Isle of Man on the hairpins there. And I'm like, that's my car I've just bought. I mean, over on its roof and back on its wheels, but that was some car, and just road rallying. But then we've always been a bit daft, really. We could Isle of Man and stuff, and then we went to Belgium, and then Germany, different cars, and then went out to the Middle East and did Middle East for quite a few years.
Yeah.
And people will come to understand now we were affording to go to the Middle East, and it was cheaper than rallying over here.
Yeah.
Well, not now, but it used to be because of all the sponsorship that was involved.
Yeah.
So we ended up going over there, and then, like I said, I was over there when Howard came up with let's buy Skodas and go to India. So we're always open to daft ideas.
Yeah.
That most sensible people go, why don't we go and do a rally to India? And you go, yeah, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's as far as it goes. You sober up the day after and go,
Yeah.
we all go, right, so how are we doing it then?
Yeah.
And the next thing is we've committed and we're off. And, so it's no regrets. I wouldn't say I've ever done, I've had quite a lot of interesting cars. I've always tried to have different cars along the way.
Yeah.
But I'm happy doing what I'm done. I've had odd criticisms, very rare, but odd criticisms say, you couldn't drive sheep, which, but that's just the wife. I mean, what can you do? But, we've enjoyed what we've done.
Yeah.
So, sometimes you make these decisions as to what you buy and etc. and how stretched you get yourself and sell on. But I saw something the other day, regret the thing you've done, not the stuff you wish you'd done.
Yeah.
It's that old sort of saying. But we've all got our thing in life and doing something different.
Yeah.
I fly out on the 19th for the next rally in Barbados with
Yeah.
the Beamer, and then that's for sale. And
Right.
I'm now thinking
You'll be able to meet past guest Cheryl Spencer. who
Yes,
rallies the BMW.
Yeah.
Well, she reckons she does.
Yes, yeah. I know Cheryl. So it's do that, and then I nearly when I bought the Corolla I bought, I was looking for something else different, and I was looking for a Volvo.
Yeah.
The old square thing, because we've all watched the videos where they go drive into a forest at 80 mile an hour, and the forest comes off worse.
Yeah.
And they then reverse and then drive on.
Yeah.
And that sort of suits me down to the ground, that I can hit the forest and come back out. So so when we did the Corolla and stuff, we thought, right. And I spoke to Frank Fennell, I don't know if you remember, and I was reminiscing with somebody the other day that I rang him up because I was going to Ireland to look at another Corolla after I totaled the first one, and I just rang him up because he'd had a Volvo, and I'd had discussions with him. And I said, I'm just over in Ireland. Never met the guy, but spoke to him on the phone a lot.
Yeah.
And I sent him a message saying, you don't know of any Volvos for sale, because I tweeted him and he'd had one, but the guy was wanting a fortune back from it. So he immediately rang me.
Yeah.
How you doing? And it was like he was one of those guys that I hadn't spoken to him since Thursday.
Yeah.
And it was just brilliant. And then I couldn't believe it. The next thing I saw, like 2 months later, he died. And I'm like, I can't believe that. And he, so he must have been quite ill.
Yeah.
And he never let on. And you just think if I'd have known, I'd have been very tempted to. I don't even know where in Ireland he was, but I'd have driven to see the guy, meet him, because he was somebody special.
Yeah.
He was one of the, the pioneers of rallying over there. So.
Excuse me. I mean, rallying in Ireland's a religion. It's not a sport.
Oh, no, it's more important than religion.
Yeah.
Don't be daft. But they're crazy guys, but brilliant.
So what else have you got planned with the Pandas, apart from trying to sell them?
Well, sell them really. If I sell them both, I'll buy probably a newer one.
Yeah.
And then I'll bloody tweak it again, like I've just done those two.
Yeah.
It's nice to do. I enjoy doing that.
Yeah.
If I don't sell them, I'll probably, well, I will sell one.
Yeah.
I'll probably sell the India one, and then I'll repair the Moroccan one and do it again. It wouldn't bother me to do that. In fact, Fiona, because last year Fiona said, you can count me out and all this sort of thing. So Sean jumped in with me. But this year, she's after I came back, she said, well, I wouldn't mind having a go.
Another do.
Yeah, so that'd be nice. You know,
I know Marcus Pomfret and Co said after they'd done it the first time with the Panda, we were going to come back and sell it. And they haven't, because they're doing it again.
No, they have sold it.
They have sold it.
Anthony sold it to his brother.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know whether he's going 319.
Yeah.
He might be. But you never know with Matt, those two.
Yeah. I think the thing is, though, people who buy Pandas, even if they get rid of it, will always buy another one. But I think once you've owned them, they get old of you, don't they?
Oh God, yeah. I mean, I think they are. They're a really good car.
Yeah.
They're a really good car. And then when you see 100 of them, or 110, I think it was this year, all on the ferry.
Yeah.
So that's 220 people plus the organisers. So it's 300 people who are all slightly off their heads. It's just, and it's back to the old days of rallying where everybody was out to help each other.
Yeah.
None of this, and I hate to say it, but nowadays it's sadly what happens is now people go and do a rally over here.
Yeah.
They do the rally, they do the scrutiny, they're all in the motorhomes, they're all doing it, which is just how it is.
Yeah.
And they've got the R5 cars and they've got a little fence round them and all this, and then they have a presentation at the end. I mean, I understand it. It's just unfortunate that they're having the presentation of Cadwell.
Yeah.
For the guy who won it and the guys in third and all that, and they're spraying the champagne as car 30 is still going round.
Yeah.
And by the time car 100's gone round, which had a Fiat Panda on doing it, they'd probably already left.
Yeah.
And you just think, it's just a shame.
Yeah.
Because people don't get to know each other.
No. I know people have said to me who've took part in the old days or the proper days of rallying and are involved in the modern stuff, they've said, there's no social life anymore.
No, and it is. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Things change. Everybody says things change. Things move on. But I still, I'm an old bugger and getting, reminiscing about it weren't like that.
Like that when I ran.
It was, but it wasn't.
No,
it wasn't. We all and the motor clubs had 100 members, and you'd have a motor club night, and there'd be 60 people there, and 40 of them have been doing the rally.
Yeah.
So and the other 20 were usually marshals.
Yeah.
So everybody was cohesive. They had everybody had a connection to each other. And you'd be working on your car, and somebody'd knock on the door, and it'd be, hey, how are you doing? And all that. And it is,
I mean, I have the
tinted
anthology of the Motoring News Championship. And you look through it. It's not something you sit and read. It's too damn big to sit and read. But you flick through it. And there were hundreds of little car clubs.
Yeah.
And I would say at least 65 to 70% of those little car clubs don't exist anymore.
Well, I had a thing come through on Facebook, and it was they were having Bury Auto Club. I'm from Bury. And so Bury Auto Club were having their last ever meeting at Walmsley Golf Club. And basically what they said was they'd had a lump of money within the car club, but every year they had to pay the MSA to have that car club. So it was slowly but surely being eroded. It got down to whatever it got down to the point where we're not having any meetings. The car club, to all intents and purposes, doesn't exist. The only people there were the organisers of it. And they said, right, we're going to have one night, and we're just going to have the last night of Bury Car Club. Everybody's welcome, and this, that, and the other. And so, a lot of people turned up, but we were all spread out. I'm up in the ladies. I don't come down to the car club now like I used to do because it was round the corner. So, and you just think, that's so. It's just sad. You think, bloody hell, that's car club gone.
And the problem is, it was these little car clubs that launched the career of some famous drivers.
Oh, God.
And regrettably, there's no... There probably will be, but there's the route into rallying, as was the proper route, doesn't really exist anymore.
Well, it's a funny one, really, because I just sold some seats. They were out of date, and a guy bought them for drifting. And through a friend of a friend that I was working with, he was taking them down to Wales for me. And he was saying, "Oh, yeah, if I'd have known," he said, "I've got you a lot more for these for the road rally guys." And down in Wales, I won't say it's like it used to be, because I don't think that, I can't imagine that would be permitted. But it's still up there, getting back to how it used to be. So they've got unarched Mark II escorts that are probably quicker than ever they were back in the day. But it's still there under the current. But I don't know where even when I was road rallying, you could see the writing was on the wall. We were all getting a bit. I can remember doing one road rally and it was coming like, I think maybe Devil's Own or whatever. And we were still doing a selective, and it was getting towards daylight, this sort of time of the year. And we were like, it's getting a bit iffy this, because at least if you could see lights coming the other way, you knew there was lights coming the other way.
Else,
But when it's daylight and you're going over jumps and stuff airborne on an open road rally with a single it's just, we all know it's getting a bit silly. I can remember Bernie Griffin in his Mini with Andy Milner, and I was watching, and came up to a crossroads, and as they came into a crossroads, I think it might have been a late call from Andy or whatever, like, you turn your left here. Well, he pirouetted right across the crossroads for about 20 foot, and as it came to a halt, he dropped into first and away and up the right road, and you just think, pretty exciting. It was exciting, and there was probably 40 people on that junction watching, so there wasn't a danger of anybody, we'd have flagged anybody down coming towards it. But you think, bloody Nora. I was just amazed that he could do that with such skill that he didn't hit anything. If I'd have tried, he'd have been in the wall.
Simon Nutter, more strength and more power to your Fiat Pandas. I hope you keep on driving them. It's been a pleasure chatting to you. So thanks very much for joining me on the Backseat Driver.
You're welcome.